Fuck. Hello. Sorry about the timing thing. It asked me what time Mountain Standard Time, even though I'm in Pacific, and then it went by Pacifics. We'll let the chat fill up a little bit. Thank you. Oh, I forgot I sneezed. I was like, thank you. Bless you too. All right. I am brain dead still. Better today than yesterday, but still not great. So I should go grab the notes from Download Soup. It's always a good sign when it doesn't move. You know what I mean? I want to also talk about Mars in retrograde because I think this is going to be a real test in fucking patience for a lot of us. The fact that it's backwards fucks me up so bad. Why is it like that? Hold on. All right, 15 people. Hopefully we didn't lose a bunch of people. Looking at the wrong time. All right. I was waiting for the chat to fill up, but I guess 15 is what we got. 15 faithful. Hello. All right. We talked about the spiral, I think, on the last live, so we don't have to get into that again. Empathy is against spiritual law. I don't think I got into that. That was in my notes, and I decided against it. I feel like people are going to freak the fuck out when I say that. I want to get BJ on, let her say it. Your desire to evangelize will get you committed. Are we all on the same page there? Apocalypse is Greek for revealing. Accept it to transmute it. I'm just listing these things off, and then if you have any questions, we can get into it. Otherwise, I want to just bitch about Mars retrograde. Oh, separate, don't diagnose. I must have been talking about narcissist. The vamps. Talked about saying you can't afford something. The funny thing is about this is that I talk about these things on the live, the $10 tier, and then I do an episode on it, and then there's really nothing to talk about when we get back here. I want to hear more about the empathy thing. Hold on. I think I have the... My brain's fried, so I'm sorry if these just suck for a week. Julie said to me earlier, she said that brain fog helps you, I'm going to butcher it, stop identifying as your intellect. And that was heartbreaking. But also, is this what it's like when hot people stop being hot? You know what I mean? She can't talk, ladies and gentlemen. All right. So this is BJ King wrote this. BJ King, a bunch of you have gotten readings from her. I'm going to have her on the podcast soon. This is her intellectual property. I'm going to read this because reading's easier than thinking. Do you have trouble focusing? Oh my God, I do have trouble focusing. Trouble losing weight, have headaches the doctors can't explain, feeling crazy occasionally, get so emotional you can't function without an obvious reason. You may be suffering from being empathetic. At birth, we have a tendency to be energetically like amoebas. We have unstructured borders to our energy fields. We move our energy fields in and around the energy fields of other people in order to check out what they are feeling. We do this instinctively in order to know how to get what we want, in order to be safe, and in order to comprehend that which is around us. We become empathic. Oh, empathic is what she has. Is that the same thing as empathetic? Is to consciously or unconsciously project oneself into the consciousness of another human being at the emotional or energetic level in order to have a sympathetic or empathic understanding of another human being. As we grow older, some people learn methods of defense, verbal understanding, or soul communication in order to get the needed information. Many people remain empathic, not knowing if the pains or emotions in their bodies are theirs or belong to other people they have encountered. They remain ignorant that they are ever picking up on the feelings and emotions from others and believe that this is all confusion and that this confusion and turmoil is all their own. We are never in control of our own feelings as long as we continue to be either consciously or unconsciously empathic. An empathic person finds it very difficult to understand where they stop and other people begin. They have a tendency to allow their boundaries to be invaded by other people. They do not even understand the concept of personal boundaries. When a person is unconsciously empathic, it is difficult for them to have a good self-image. Their self-image is controlled by the thoughts that others have about them. They do not have a clear impression of selfhood in others. When a person is unconsciously empathic, the gift of being able to read the other people empathically becomes more of a curse than a gift. Okay, they're the same thing. Good. When I meet a psychic person who is reading others by being empathic, they are often resistant to the idea of giving up being empathic, believing this is their gift and they must remain empathic in order to fulfill their destiny. Not me, buddy. She said it and it hit me like a fucking ton of bricks au relief. Let me tell you what. I was like, oh shit. Oh wow. Sharon, we said ton of bricks at the same time. When I meet a psychic person who is reading others by being empathic, they are often resistant to the idea, giving empathic. Okay, sorry, that was the same sentence again. If they are willing to trust their souls, they can reprogram themselves to receive necessary information about their clients by being consciously multidimensional rather than empathic. Yes, I heard you. There might be a reason. I have brain fog right now. It does, however, take discipline to change our way of being energetically. When I use the word discipline, many people hear the word punishment. I got to get this bitch on the podcast. To be disciplined is to care enough about yourself to do what is in your highest good. It is a form of self-love and self-respect. When a person is empathic, they respond emotionally, usually with tears, when large amounts of spiritual energy enters their bodies during readings or meditations. This causes discomfort for them and their client and is not necessary. Being empathic is against spiritual law. It is intrusive and self-sabotaging. This is literally the only paragraph of this I read, by the way. In being empathic, we are picking up information from others and carrying it for them or acting it out for them unconsciously. Dude. So I've been thinking about how we end up playing the role for other people that they want us to play for them. Because I've had a couple experiences recently where people projected just fucking wild shit onto me. There was an experience when I was in Tennessee where people projected a thing onto me. It triggered me. And then I caught myself kind of playing the role of the person they think I am. But then I got something even, and I watched myself and was like, oh, I'm being the person. Like, I'm being that. Why am I being that? And like, I was thinking thoughts that were like not my thoughts. It's like not how I think. I was like petty, and I'm usually very unpetty. And not that there's anything wrong with petty. I think petty's hilarious. It's just not usually how I am. I'm usually too objective to have any fun with the pettiness. Then I got here and had this wild experience where I just got accused of something so outlandish that like is just whoa. But then I as I was sorting through it, I could hear the thoughts of the person they accused me to be. I wasn't acting out on it at all because it was insane. But I could hear the thoughts of that person. It was like a maniacal, like, wah ha 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 ha. And I was like, does that person exist on a different timeline? Like they weren't my thoughts, but like like that person's projection created a thought form that now I can hear. And I've been thinking about this and it's too fucking weird to get into. But what if, because we end up doing this, right? Like we get caught up in each other's projections and then we become the thing, right? That they think we are, for them at least. Is that happening because we are tuned into each other's energy in a way that is causing us to start acting out of character? You know what I mean? Like we all acted like so out of character in like our twin flame dynamics and shit. Anyway, sorry, that probably wasn't worth interrupting. I'm talking right now easily. Don't jinx it, Jessa. I'm going to read the beginning again. Being empathic is against spiritual law, is intrusive and self-sabotaging. In being empathic, we are picking up information from others and carrying it for them or acting it out for them unconsciously. It is difficult to differentiate what are our feelings and emotions and the emotions of others. If you have been consciously or unconsciously empathic, it is time to give up this as a means of accessing information from others. Being empathic causes too many people to be overweight, excessively not that there's anything wrong with being overweight, excessively emotional, or to become addicted to substances because of being overly sensitive. When the body has no boundaries to the emotional body, the physical body tries to become the size of the emotional body. now that I don't obsess over my weight anymore, the body has like an amazing, like my weight fluctuates so much. And I always knew that there was a thing that when you're taking a download, like your body will swell to like hold the energy. I never thought about it needing to swell to hold the emotional baggage of other people. This feeling of being out of control emotionally leads to excessive eating in order to feel in control or feel grounded. Oh my God, I have to eat. So I have to eat during readings sometimes. A lot of times you're like, bitch, we've had a reading from you. We erroneously try to create a physical barrier between ourselves and other people since we have no emotional boundary. It is also possible when we are not in control of our energy bodies to attract astral plane entities. I'm not going to get into that. If we choose to act responsibly energetically, it's time for us to give up being empathic in favor of being deliberately multidimensional. So she said this shit to me in a, like I got a reading from her. Several hours early and 18 minutes late. I love it. You can create new karma between you and the person you read if you don't close it all out. It's a BJ King. BJ King's the shit. She's very old school. So a lot of you have gotten readings from her. You have to call her house phone and leave a message on her voicemail to arrange for it. She takes checks. I'm gonna drive through Oklahoma. I'm gonna go back to Tennessee for a couple months for the final collapse of the society. And so I'm gonna drive through there and see if I can stop at her house to do a podcast. But I'll tell you guys my experience with this. So I called her. I didn't tell her much. I didn't tell her anything. She didn't know who I was or what I do. And she doesn't tap into your energy. She talks to your soul. And I had started to get like visions and like things yelling that aren't my aliens. And what I've noticed is they're not, they're other people's souls. So when I'm talking to someone, I'm talking to their guides, which like people do. I think that's how Mela reads. That's not usually what I do. I'm usually tapped into your energy, and I'm usually limited to what your energy says. But by being tapped into your energy, I can then tell you the strategy to get out of your hamster wheels usually. But it's exhausting, and it's almost impossible right now with my current state. So she could tell that I was doing that. And she was like, oh my God. And not only was I empathically tuned into everyone I was doing readings for, 5 people a day, 6 people a day, 6 to 8 people a day. I was empathically tuned into everyone who listens to the podcast. And I was like, what the fuck is happening to me? I was like so anxious every time I recorded a podcast. Because I could hear every fucking, I can hear when I trigger a bunch of people at once. I can always tell that when I'm recording it because time doesn't exist. So I can tuned into everyone, but everyone's so tender and shit, a couple weeks ago. Anyway, so it was a great time to talk to her. And she told me that I was getting a new, a new version of me on September 12th. And it's interesting that this brain fog came back right before that, because if I'm honest, if I didn't have a career to maintain and a shit ton of people to take care of, I would just go sit in a tub for 2 weeks, because I feel like my brain's working on the inside. There's just the communication channel is very difficult. I'm crushing it right now, but it hasn't been like this. But anyway, so then shortly after talking to her, I looked at it too hard. And since I came back to work this week, I've been looking at it too hard. And these things are things you allow. This is all very feminine energy. And then when you're like, where's the oversoul? You know, you're like looking for it's masculine energy and it goes away. But I like couldn't do cards anymore. I would be talking to people and just getting things yelled into my ear. And some of them were like so random, but then I would say it out loud and it would be like true. It would connect for that person. So that is the, need a phone when you already have brain fog, you know what I mean, Jessa? Yes, being in other people's energy, which like we're all putting out a frequency, and unity consciousness is not everyone putting out the same frequency. It's everyone's frequency harmonizing, and they mostly just harmonize when you allow other people to have their own frequency. It's enmeshment, man. Deliberately multidimensional. Everything happens to me on accident, and I'm gonna have BJ on to talk about that because I don't know. Yeah, she taps into Mela taps into. She like talks to the guides of the people. Am I using a grounded reading screen when I read? No. Are you asking me if I have any fucking ritual or no? I don't do anything that I should do. I started to crave meditating, and I've never meditated in my life. I don't do yoga. I don't fucking ground at any point. I don't put a bubble around myself. I don't, that's all has to change, obviously. But if that is an energetic thing that you're talking about, no. Up until very recently, I got to do whatever the fuck I wanted without having to close it. I didn't have to follow any of the rules that everyone else has to follow. But obviously right now I'm starting to question that. We'll see. All right. Let me see if there's more goodness in this, because reading's easier than pulling information out of my own fucking brain. Oh, I got an answer for the question. No, I haven't done any of that yet. I'm going to start doing that. I forget. I think I have a lot of energetic things on autopilot, she says. I think I can just like handle a shit ton of bullshit for a long period of time. And maybe it's catching up with me. Calling out. Okay, I don't have to read this out loud. Okay, hold on. ADD, sorry. I'm going to answer this question. BJ is going to answer this question. If we choose to act responsibly and energetically, it's time for us to give up being empathic in favor of being deliberately multidimensional. To do this, we have to rewrite our software, our program, and seek only oversoul communication with our own oversoul and deliberately program ourselves to communicate with others from our oversoul to their oversoul. The oversoul is the thing that we were talking about recently. That like graph of like higher self and then oversoul. This form of communication bypasses the emotional body. When we need information about another person, we could communicate with our oversouls. And if it is ours to know, our oversoul will communicate with the oversoul of the other person, and the information or awareness we need will come to us in the form of intuition or knowingness. If we agree to communicate in this way, when our soul disconnects from the other person's soul, we are not left with any feelings, diseases, or emotions that rightfully belong to the other person. So this is how it started happening to me, was there was just kind of a relaxing. And it's not working right now because I am thinking about it too hard. But there was like a relaxing, and then I just would like loud thoughts would pop up into my head. I guess if you've never like channeled before, we'll call it loud thoughts that are like random and not one of the voices in your own mind. And then I just say them. And it's like that. And so when the person's talking, it's just like blah, blah, blah. I just started doing readings, and I'm definitely tapping into people's energy. Need to learn more about being deliberately multidimensional. Oh yeah, so Drew said calling out and honoring your ancestors and guides before doing a reading has always been super helpful and important to not draining me. You guys are making me feel really lazy right now. It's fine. I think day-to-day existence. So that she's the one that talked about the balloons, and I have kind of like I just put this stuff on autopilot. So she's like there's balloons, 3 balloons around your aura, your body, to block out everyone else's energy. I mean, this is pages and pages long. I might get into this on the podcast this week and then go see her and have her on the podcast. Yeah, let's talk about Mars retrograde. Are you guys as fucked up as I am? Are we all doing this? Like, Jesus Christ. So the last Mars retrograde was June of 2018. And I can't remember what I was doing. Like, Mormon and the Meth Head was taking off. We were trying to pitch TV shows. And I remember being like, we need to not pitch anything for these 2 months because things don't get off the ground. And that's all I really remember about it. I remember us constantly saying fucking Mars retrograde. It's currently in my house of partnership. Me and that podcast partner have been working things out and getting ready to do a reunion show. So that's interesting. It's in my house of partnership where my Venus is in Aries, my Chiron, and my Eris. So if I can get through this without destroying my relationship, that'll be a fucking miracle. And yeah, if I could just live 1,000 miles inside of myself, that would be perfect. But it's extremely frustrating for anyone that tries to move anything forward. You just have to kind of be in a constant state of surrender. And like everything you can get off of your plate, get it off of your plate, she says to herself. He heard me. Seriously, clean your fucking plates. And I'm like, it's just gone. It's like, it's so fucking nuts. So much of the ascension right now is like everything that you identify with is taken from you until you stop identifying with it. You identify with your relationship, gone. You identify with, like, if you think that that's who you are you this relationship? Are you your job? Are you your fucking looks? Are you your whatever? It's like, no, we're going to take that for a minute. Now what are you? And it's like, fuck. I really heavily identify with my ability to communicate. Like, if I'm not that, what am I? And so, and you know, mental energy, fucking big time. So it's really interesting. If I'm being honest though, for people who have brain fog, I'm finding, I wouldn't be surprised if what I'm experiencing as brain fog, because every time I experience something, you know, I turn into something else, is, okay, finish a fucking thought. All right, that's not new. That's just regular. We used to experience reality and store it. I'm changing the subject real quick. We used to experience reality and store it on like a disk, right? And that's where all of our memories were. And in 2012, during that ascension, it was like after fourth, like the memories are going away. I had a really hard time with that. I was like very, very attached to my memories. I felt like the reason that I lived so much life was for the purpose of the memories, which is weirdly true, but those memories now go to the cloud. So we don't have them on a disk anymore. They're in the cloud. And soon our language won't be on the disk. It's in the cloud. Our like everything is in the cloud, and we will channel everything rather than storing it. And so this is part of why we're clearing out. This is just coming out, by the way. This is part of why we're clearing out this like 5th, 6th, and then 7th in January, getting this flow going. It's why it affects our ability to communicate. And what I have noticed with the brain fog is that there is a track I can get onto that if I don't think and I'm just communicating and I'm just like allowing it to pass through me, then there's a version of me that I'm streaming, but the avatar is like losing it and can't function. So when I'm watching Initiation, he does that. He's like channeling when he's talking, because I'm like, I can't imagine pumping out that much fucking information in your second language, right? Like so many fucking things. And I'm like, how would you know the word? Like, I'm not saying, I don't understand. I don't have a second language, so I don't know, but you can tell. And there's something he does with his eyes. And I pick up on stuff like this for some reason. My like hypervigilance or whatever picks up on people's like quirks. But I notice that there's like a dot, 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 like a rhythmic thing that he does to like keep the channel going. And early on in Soberish, the solo episodes would turn into this, like I get onto this track and it moves forward. And then I would think and I would knock off of it. You guys never heard that because I edit it to make myself sound smarter than I am. And there's something I've noticed that even in the brain fog, if I can like step out of the brain fog but it's like doing something with my body. I haven't put my finger on it yet, but I think I'm going to hack brain fog while I'm here. Anyway, Mars Retrograde. I read a great description of it today, but it affects your libido, it affects your ambition. And I know the tendency in this community to feel like I couldn't do something for 3 days, I'm stuck. This group is very hard on themselves. Any area that we're stuck in for the next couple of months is like under reviews. It's just under review. That's it. Go inside of ourselves, take care of ourselves, be nice to ourselves, just expect nothing to move forward. Just expect everything to slow down. Actually, hold on. Are you calling yourself a clingy cat? I do feel like a lead balloon. I am clingy as hell. I'm clingy as hell. I'm going to go stay in Nashville for the rest of this because I don't think I'm capable of a long distance relationship right now. That's not why I'm going there, but that should be why I'm going there. The veil is just going away. So we're going to have to just get used to having 300 roommates. You know what I mean? All right, so you were not calling yourself a clingy cat. Why didn't you go from the beginning, Jessa? All right. It sounds like when I do Akashic readings, it's streaming connection to knowledge, not of this plane. Disconnect when I'm done. What if we are going to permanently, because that's what was happening for the month when we were all just cracked out in August, was we were just getting these huge Akashic dumps. Gigantic Akashic dumps. What if that is just it now? What if we just become like lines back to the Akashic? I don't know. She has brain fog for 7 days, and now she wants to rewrite the way that reality is experienced for the collective. Who, me? We're being onboarded to more actively channel to what our higher selves want, I think. Yeah, there we go, Drew. This is Drew. Is this a recent picture, Drew? Sounds like you stepped onto that track just now. Your brain fog feels like it cleared up in spots. Yeah, that was totally me getting onto that track. This is the best I've been in over a week right now. I've taken 3 doxycycline so far, so this makes me hopeful. It was about 2 days of amoxicillin before I started to snap out of it. So I am really excited that it might be working. Our cats are being weird and clingy. Oh, okay. Well, I'm a cat. Akashic dumps. Yes, I like it. It would take some adjustments, but I think we all would be okay with that being the direction we go. Like once they're like what the ego. What would be the point though? Like that would just be a transition because oh fuck, that would be like telepathy would be next, right? Because what's the point? You don't need to communicate to anything if you're all plugged into the same thing. God, that would be sick. Akashic dump is going to be your next screen name. All right, he got a new screen or a new. All right. I don't usually pull cards for this, but for some reason I feel like I'm supposed to pull cards. What the fuck does mine shaft mean? Thank God, telepathy is coming in fast for sure. So that makes sense. We would have to rise above empathy. Because I don't want to be tapped into everybody's fucking dumb fuck thoughts. You know what I mean? I mean, telepathy is already... I have it sometimes. It's on accident. But I feel like if you put me into a situation where I needed it, I would be able to do it. Why am I even using these cards? This is just going to be really quick. What the fuck does mine shaft mean? Yeah, I like the idea of Elon Musk's Neuralink. If I'm honest, I feel like sometimes these tech people exist to convince us that things are possible so that we can tap into them. Telepathy and not being able to lie anymore are going hand in hand, right? So we have to become more authentic. Mark and I were just talking about how everything is going to be like completely authentic in your face, you know. Everyone's going to be able to see everyone for what they really are and what they're doing. I feel like we were watching you buffer. Thank you guys for your patience. It's actually really embarrassing, but I am forcing myself to be okay with it. Yeah, that makes sense. That feels like something you would have to consent to. All right. I don't know why we're doing these cards right now. These aren't picket cards, I guess. Okie dokie. This is a story, they said. These are hard to do. These are hard to do with this thing is backwards. Mind shaft? It's mind shaft, I think. Shaft is the thing that's standing out most. The more I've been using the new network, the harder it is to remember words when I'm just talking from the avatar. I want to experiment with leaving the connections to people in their space with their knowledge and see what we can do. Oh, fuck. So I love this deck so much I never use it because it's hard to shuffle. Queen of Swords. For me, this is like emotional balance, like being in charge of your emotional body and like intuition, right? Page of Swords for me is always realizing that you need to set a boundary. Look at the imagery of it's so hard the way it's backwards. That border around, and that is a clingy cat. I don't know if you're familiar with that. And then the Three of Swords, heartbreak, right? This would have been a sick pick a card reading. I honestly don't know what the fuck it's a story means. But next we've got the Alchemist, Transmutation, Love, this goddamn backwards thing, and Power. Oh, okay. My bad. All right. So protecting your, sorry. I feel like I go away. I like leave. Is this what it's like to be a Capricorn? Jesus Christ. I feel like I just dip and it's like, dude, there's definitely a computer watching you right now. Anyway, the gist of it is that protecting your energetic body and your intuition so that you're not taking on other people's shit. This backwards thing is so, like, I don't like to do cards in this one. Protects you from other people's shit so that you can transmute from a place of love and stay in your power. Glad we did that. All right. psychic social distancing. I like that. I'm gonna go because I feel dumb. This was great. I mean, let's not over exaggerate. Anyway, I think October and November are going to be, October's going to get progressively weirder. I think we might have some things that the collective is just dying to experience. So we're going to experience it. The earth is going to continue to purge. Remember that you are in the clouds right now. You can definitely mourn it and feel it, but you don't have to identify with it. And anything you do identify with is on a big fat pause right now. Almost everything's on a big fat pause. It's a great time to just take care of yourself, go inside of yourself. Shit's gonna be pretty fucking nice by January. And I am going to pack up and, like I said, head up to Tennessee for a couple months. I'm so glad, to be honest, that this thing came back while I was here. Because if it came back while I was in Tennessee, I would be convinced that it's a conspiracy. But so we'll be back doing this probably Tuesday, Wednesday, so that I have some days to travel, and then hopefully I'll be able to stop by and see BJ and do that episode with her. All right. I'm already getting emails from you guys. Very good to see you. Sorry, I should be back in the next few days. Back. All right. Bye.